Another question I have for you, and look, we are becoming a computer, not nation, a computer world. We are becoming a cell phone world. Most of us are on the computer many, many, many hours every day, starting from young children to elderly. What's the story with eye health and all of the computer viewing that we're doing? Where do you think we're going to be? Are we all going to go blind in 2 decades from all the computer stuff?
I certainly hope not. No, right now, I'm glad that you brought this up because it is true. A lot of us are spending so much time on the computer, even more so now, being that a lot of people have turned to working from home. Students are now doing distance learning. Uh, so yes, there are complications from being on the computer a lot of the time. Uh, Two of the quick issues is that for especially for young kids, they're looking at near devices all day long. There is evidence that kids who spend a lot of their day looking at near devices, they're more likely to end up stronger nearsighted. So they're more likely to develop high myopia faster and to greater degrees than kids who spend more time outside. That's definitely a concern. More so, a lot of people are having eye fatigue, and that's because their muscles are focused on an object so close to them, and they're doing that for 8 to 10 hours a day, maybe more, especially if they're on their phone in between. That can lead to headaches, eye strain, and then they also end up with really bad dry eyes, and that's because we don't blink as often when we're looking at a near device, especially a computer screen. It drops by about 50%. So it means your eyes are open longer, your tears are evaporating faster, and then you end up with gritty, sandy, red burning eyes. The other big issue right now is that there's kind of a blue light craze, and this has been going on for a few years, but even more so now. Uh, and that's the whole thought about blue light glasses. Is blue light damaging our eyes? What role does that play? There is three arguments in blue light. One is that blue light is causing damage to the retina. Now that has been long theorized for quite some time, actually, that blue light could be affecting our retina. But at this time, there's no solid evidence that that is the case. There's some studies on animals and some studies on human retinal cells that have been put into a petri dish, but nothing that, because our eyes have defense mechanisms against for high amounts of free radicals. So our retina right now, no proof or evidence to really suggest that it's causing damage. However, blue light has been found to affect your sleep cycle because it tricks your brain into not producing as much melatonin, and it phase shifts it later in the evening. So we all know that sleep is a huge aspect to our health. We need to be getting adequate sleep. Otherwise, it causes problems with inflammation. It affects your mood, your depression, your performance all day. And so that can be a significant factor if you're not getting good sleep because you're up all night staring at your phone or a computer screen or something. So that part is another concern. So I think the whole question about staring at the computer screen with blue light, there are many different ways to improve that. There's blue light modes on your phone and screens. There's blue light glasses. There's blue light screen protectors. There's a lot of different things you can consider. But probably the biggest one: take a break at night, set the phone down, pick up a book or something. Chat with a family member or a friend. Try to relax a little bit and maybe get off the digital device.
I love that. And just so I'm clear, we have the ability on our cell phones to adjust for blue light.
Many phones do. In fact, big companies, the Apple tech companies, Samsung, most of those phones now, even your PC, if you use a Microsoft product, they have a night shift or blue light
Oh,
mode
yes.
that you can
Okay.
turn on. And you can throttle it depending on how much you want to turn it on, but they'll kind of turn the screen a little bit yellow. And there's at least a few studies that show that that does reduce the effect, the melatonin suppression effect. It's not 100%, but it helps quite a bit.
Interesting. It's so funny. I have that on my phone, and I just thought it was dimming because it was so bright, and that might affect. But it's not the brightness per se; it's the
Mhm.
blue light.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Specifically, there's a ganglion cell in your retina that doesn't, it's intrinsically photosensitive. We call it an IP, or retinal ganglion cell.
Mhm.
That specific receptor is very sensitive to light in the blue light zone, about 400, between 450 and 480 nanometers of light. And that's exactly where the computer screen and a lot of our new LED lights, they emit right in that zone. And so that's where it's most sensitive for speaking to that part of the brain.
That's interesting. Wow, that's amazing. So, okay, so I will now know that when my phone dims at night, we're turning off the blue light. Is that about right? But you're saying get rid of the phone and just pick up a book.
That would be best. Yes, I know lifestyle factors. Even myself, it's like I feel like I'm constantly working even till late in the evening. But you gotta do something. Just be a little bit of aware of it.
What about light from like your nightstand? If I'm reading a book, does that emit the same blue light that you're getting from your phone?
That's another really good question. There are different types of light bulbs, obviously. Right now, a lot of people are switching to LED lights because they save a lot of energy. Unfortunately, if they are more white or bluish lights, they do emit more of that blue light spectrum. So there are light bulbs coming out now that are specifically filtering out those wavelengths, or they're a little bit more of a yellow, dim kind of soothing color.
Mhm.
Those warm colors are going to be better to have in those sort of night lights, or if you're going to be reading a book, try to get lamps or light bulbs like that.
That's excellent. Thank you. Thank you. That's great.